My name is Spero Villioti. Join us as we unpick the threads of our creative fashion community, always remembering our values of nurturing, being commercially savvy and extraordinary. It's a crazy place filled with fun, passion, dedication, and so much laughter, which we love.
Hello everybody. So today's special, we decided to do something a little bit different. We initially had recorded this video to go exclusively on our Patreon account. However, we think that this story is very important and needed in order for everybody to understand exactly where the Fashion Education Foundation comes from and how all of that really started. So please feel free to carry on watching, have a look and see what this is all about. It's very special to the Villioti Fashion Institute. We are also still taking on patrons on our Patreon account. All the details are listed below, so please feel free to click and subscribe to our Patreon account. Your proceeds will definitely be going to someone that needs it most. Thank you.
Hi everybody. Today I want to chat about how we started our fundraising to help students and the way it all came about. So when we started the school, we had to raise money so that they could do their fashion shows. And putting on a fashion show is quite expensive because you need to pay for models, set, sound and lighting. So what we decided to do was we were going to teach our students to raise money, which I think is important. Also, when they have their own brand, that they can see how to go about putting on a fashion show and creating awareness for their brand, because obviously they don't have much budget. So the way we thought that we could teach them was if they learned to do a show and to make that show a charity show. So we started off like that with the first students that were here. And our shows were small at the time. And what we did is we said to them that we're going to do charity events like cake sales, golf days, blanket drives, and whatever money you raise, half of it will go towards your show. The other half we will donate to a charity. And that's how we did it in the beginning. So we first gave to a charity like the SPCA because Vanessa and I love animals, so it went to there, whatever was raised, and they did quite well. And then the following year we raised for an old age home and we gave there, and the year after that we did another one where we gave it to a charity that you go to this wall and there's a door in the wall. And I think the charity, I'm sure it's called
The Hole in the Wall.
Hole in the Wall. Hole in the Wall. So you put the baby in the hole in the wall and you close the doors, and a siren goes off on the other side, and they come and they rescue that baby, and you remain anonymous because there's a lot of young girls who fall pregnant here, which is taboo, and they can't tell their families, and they have this child. They've hidden the pregnancy and now they're trying to get rid of it. So they put it in the hole in the wall. So we actually gave there 2 years in a row. And then a very good friend of ours works very closely with the now president, who wasn't president at the time, Cyril Ramaphosa. And they have a foundation called the Shanduka Foundation, and they raise money to educate entrepreneurs and business people. So the money that they raise goes to that, and also to fixing schools like with ablution blocks and libraries and computers all over the country. So every year they have this annual event called Back to School, where everybody has to go in a school uniform to this function. I'll put up a picture. You can see Vanessa and I in our school uniforms. Even Cyril Ramaphosa was wearing school uniform, and his wife. It's a really lovely event. It's huge and they raise a lot of money. So that's the back to school party that happens every year. It's still, even now that he's become president, they still do the back to school party and he just does a guest appearance. But they raise a lot of money and they build and fix schools. So he was approached by a young guy called Mazwe Tom, who wanted to do fashion, and Cyril decided to buy him an industrial sewing machine because this kid came from an orphanage. He's a young man. He came from an orphanage, and this was the only way that he could set him up, by buying him an industrial sewing machine. So he bought Mazwe the sewing machine, and then our friend phoned us, who I said works with Cyril, and he says, this guy doesn't know how to use the sewing machine. Could he please come into your institution and you could just show him how to thread it up and how to use it, and that's all. So we decided, we said, of course he can come in. So Mazwe came in, and from the minute Mazwe came into the institution, it was like he stepped into paradise. He had never been in a place like this. He comes from a very poor background. He's an orphan. He comes from a squatter camp called Orange Farm. So he had nothing. The best thing he ever had in his life was this brand new spanking sewing machine in his shack. But he didn't know how to use it. But when he came in here, he was like blown away. This was like amazing. He couldn't believe. He had never been to a shopping mall like Hyde Park with fancy brands and everything going on around. So we saw his excitement, and we told some other friends who were in Cape Town about the story, and they said every month, every year when you do your show, you raise the money that goes to different charities. Why don't we start up a foundation for you called the Fashion Education Foundation, and all the money that you raise will go into accepting someone like Mazwe so that he can come to the school. We thought this was a brilliant idea. So the foundation was set up by a few businessmen in Cape Town. So the base of the foundation is in Cape Town. There's a group of trustees who look after the money and distribute the money accordingly. And students need to apply there to try and get a bursary. And any fundraising that we do at the school, we donate, go straight for the foundation. So after that year, we had raised, so Mazwe had come in the beginning of the year, and then our show happened, and the students raised like 300,000 Rand, which was a hell of a lot of money for the time. They really did well as a group. So we decided that we would call Mazwe and ask him if he would like to come and study here. And he, of course, was over the moon. But the foundation had extra money in. And 3 years prior to that, we had interviewed another guy called Mandla, who also wanted to come and study fashion here, and he couldn't. So we decided to call Mandla and say to them, also, would you also like to, we have a bursary for you, would you like to come and join us? And he also came. When he didn't get in here, he went to the Navy and joined the Navy. He was in the Navy for 3 years by the time we called him. But then he came out of the Navy and left the Navy and came to us. So the first ever bursary students that we had that were funded by the Fashion Education Foundation was Mazwe Tom and Mandla. So this is Mazwe, because you can see this picture here, and you're most probably wondering, who is this? So this is Mazwe. Mazwe adored this place. I would have to throw him out at night. He just wouldn't leave. He was super creative. He was the sweetest person, one of the sweetest people I've ever met. Kind soul. And he really excelled in his first year. Loved the place. Everybody loved him. His classmates adored him. And then in the second year, we started off fine in the first half of the year, and then towards mid-year, Mazwe sort of disappeared. He wasn't coming to the institution. So I found where he stayed, which was at the orphanage, and I said, "Where is Mazwe?" And they said, "No, Mazwe is in hospital." I said, "Is he okay? What is wrong with him?" And they said, "No, Mazwe was born with a hole in his heart, and it wasn't known to us that he had this condition." And sadly, Mazwe passed away. We were all completely shocked and heartbroken. We weren't expecting this. This was our person who had started the bursary, and now he was dead, mid-year, second year. And there was a whole group of us who went to his funeral, including our friend who works with Cyril. We went together. It was a beautiful funeral in Orange Farm. And then we had a second funeral, or a memorial service in the school, where all the students came and the people from the orphanage came here. And it was actually quite a beautiful day because we'd set it up and it was all in there. And this was his photo that we had. So Mazwe's favorite place in the school was the library. And this image of him sits in the library. He couldn't devour enough magazines and books. He was in there. It was his favorite place. So this picture was taken in the library. You can see the books in the background. But sadly, he passed away. So in his honor, at the end of the year, we decided we wanted to do something special because he really was the most promising student. And we wanted to keep his memory alive and to respect him and to show it doesn't matter where you come from, you are a special person. So we created the Mazwe Tom Award, which we give out every year. It's a floating trophy, and it is for the most promising student. So this year, every year, this gets given out as the Mazwe Tom Award. And that's how we started the bursary. Mandla, who was the other person, went on and completed his graduation, and I think we showcased him in the last video, but we'll put that bit up again, hey Josh?
Yes.
So on the Patreon account, so you can see Mandla's collection. Unfortunately, we have nothing from Mazwe because he didn't graduate, but that's how the foundation was started. So every year, all the money that the students raise, and they really do well, goes to the foundation to help students. So all in all, we've had about 12 or 15 students that have gone through the foundation. But last year, with COVID happening, the students couldn't do any fundraising. And that's why when I was watching Stephanie's vlog, I decided maybe we should try that and see if we can do any fundraising to help the students. So we didn't have funds to take on a student this year. And so we started the vlog with Josh, not knowing very much, and we just started. It was just on a whim, and we're glad we did it. We were very nervous. We weren't sure how to go about all of this, but we figured it out. And
we're still figuring it out.
We're still figuring it out. We're trying to figure out Patreon. We're lucky we started it, and I thank everybody who's joined now. It's like really amazing, and I hope we can give you amazing content to watch. So we started, and when Stephanie decided to do the scholarship through the foundation, we were really so overjoyed because it was going to be the first year that we didn't have a bursary student, and thank goodness that Stephanie came on board, and we have now Mahotso, and then we also decided, Vanessa and I decided to take on Nkolisi. It's not an easy name to say.
No.
Nkolisi. So he's joined us as well, so we've taken both of them on, and hopefully the patron grows and we can help. I really want to help the other 6 that we interviewed, and every day we see more and more and more, and it's like heartbreaking. But it's a beginning and it's a start. And when we started the foundation, we had nothing. So the foundation is a non-profit organization. Whatever fundraising we do goes straight to there. All the money from Patreon goes to there. Nothing comes to me personally. But we do have highly educated lecturers here with masters and honors and PhDs and doctorates. So those kind of people have to earn a certain amount of salary, and as much as we can afford to do, Vanessa and I will do, but we can't do everything. So this really helps and covers their costs. A lot of them don't, even though we've given bursaries, they don't have money for food, they don't have money for transport, they don't have access to the internet, they don't have laptops or iPads, so it's really difficult. I've had students who have been in class and have actually fainted, and I didn't know why they fainted. These are bursary students. They hadn't eaten for 3 days, and I didn't know this. And they had walked from Soweto to Hyde Park, which is exceptionally far. I don't know how they did it, just to get to school, to get to the institution, to do their studies. So these kids are really driven and determined, and it's very important for us to try and do whatever we can to change their lives, because it doesn't only change their lives, it changed their families' lives as well. And a lot of them are the first ones that have ever been educated formally. And it is such a blessing for them, because they will definitely do well. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's just what we're trying to do here. It's not about me trying to be famous or trying to make the school famous. It's trying to showcase what we do, what we want to do, and what we want to achieve. So if we can just, like Josh, Vanessa, and I, and all the staff here, can make a slight difference to someone's life, that is the reward. And that's it. Thank you for watching. And keep watching. We're going to upload good stuff.
So this is the library where Mazwe's picture is. And this is obviously his favorite place too.